Welcome back, guys. So we got to talk about the New York Knicks and this potential comeback angle. And listen, a lot of people are really coming at James Harden for his defense, and we're going to break all of that down right now. Shout out to Jalen Brunson, who was absolutely magnificent tonight. But hey, Hart's got to give a little more than that. OG figuring it out. He's slowly getting there. Josh Hart didn't have his best night, but Mikal Bridges and Landry Shamet were key pieces helping Brunson carry that load. Big shout out to the big shot in that comeback moment. Landry Shamet with absolutely elite level defense on Donovan Mitchell down the stretch. And yeah, James Harden's defense has been a real liability, man. And Brunson hasn't really been a liability at all since they moved him off the ball more. I've been seeing way more effort from Brunson now that he's not handling everything 24/7, man. And the Cavaliers are going to look back at this like a real missed opportunity, as this series keeps moving, because the Knicks are not going to come out this flat again. And it could get ugly in game 2, just depending on how OG and some of those other guys are feeling. You might get a much more balanced attack from their key guys next game. But shout out to Mike Brown as well for trusting Landry Shamet in those minutes. This is something we probably wouldn't have seen under Thibs in those exact situations, and these guys wouldn't have already had that confidence built up. Some nights it might be Deuce, some nights it might be Landry, some nights it might be Clarkson, but we never used to really see that deep bench trust before. It was usually either Deuce had a big night or they just kind of mailed it in when the starters couldn't get it going. But we're going to get into these comments where Mike Brown basically said, yeah, we were attacking Harden, and then Shannon Sharp and Acho are about to really go in on Harden. Let's check it out.
They were trying to do the same thing with Jalen, and so we said, okay. But it is no secret we were attacking Harden.
But then Harden.
Come on, man.
You really
Yo,
theoretically you could go at either one of them because neither one of them are outstanding defenders. Yeah. But James Harden has been atrocious. James Harden is no better than Luka. And I hate to, bring that up, but we know they're outstanding guys on the offensive end.
Yes.
But the thing is, you can't let them relax on the defensive end. You got to go at them, and that's what the Knicks did. And it didn't matter. What did Brunson do? Nope. And then when they got him, and you see them, they go 1-4 flat. So my thing is, if you're not gonna give me 25, 30 on offense, boy, you better play some damn outstanding defense. You can't suck on both ends of the court.
There are losses and then there are catastrophic collapses. And what we saw tonight from the Cavs was a catastrophic, utterly embarrassing, completely putrid collapse. And it starts and it ends with James Harden. James Harden, after that abysmal performance you had offensively, game 7, everybody forgave you. But to come out game 1 and let Jalen Brunson take your heart, let Jalen Brunson take your will, let Jalen Brunson take your manhood, and do absolutely nothing about it in the Garden is shameful, especially for a superstar, especially for an all-star, especially for a former league MVP. James Harden, free throws are expensive for you. Why do I say that? Because you're shooting 63% from the free throw line over the last 2 games. James Harden, if I am not mistaken, you are 1 for 14 from the 3-point line over the last 2 games. James Harden, if I am not mistaken, you are 7 of 26 on field goals over the last 2 games, and you call yourself an all-star? Make that make sense. Make that make sense, James Harden. Utterly embarrassing, pathetic, and an anemic offensive performance. But it would be one thing if you had an anemic offensive performance, but you were strapping on defense. Harden, you were a leaky faucet, G. A leaky faucet that ended up flooding the entirety of the house because you couldn't turn the water off on Jalen Brunson. They called you out every single possession, and you didn't have enough heart to get one singular stop. They said, everybody go to the block. Cat went to the block. Bridges went to the block. OG, he hit outside the 3-point line. Hart hit outside the 3-point line, and they isolated James Harden for roughly 10 straight possessions. And Jalen Brunson had 11 straight points closing out the 4th quarter of that game. James Harden should be ashamed of himself.
So, 1, that performance by Jalen Brunson is only going to take his status as a Knicks legend to a whole different level. He was already sitting in that conversation as one of the most talked about New York Knicks legends we've seen in a long time. And I know people debate whether he's truly in that tier with the Ewings and all those older greats, but this right here feels like another major step in that direction. Jalen Brunson, he literally single-handedly, no exaggeration, wheeled that team back into this basketball game. And once they got to that 89-94 stretch, even after that big three from the opposing side, it still felt way too close for comfort. You know, the Knicks had completely found their rhythm, and every second that was ticking off the clock felt heavier, like the game was slowing down for the Cavaliers and the pressure just kept rising on every possession. Donovan Mitchell started struggling to turn the corner at times against that length and pressure from Landry Shamet. Guys started flying in for huge rebounds at key moments. Landry Shamet was pure effort mixed with big-time shot making on top of those clutch threes. Not only was he locking in defensively on Donovan, but he also hit multiple big shots, grabbed keyboards, and honestly played way better than Josh Hart on this night. Jalen Brunson wasn't really getting much consistent help on offense, and I know at times I've criticized Brunson for forcing shots, but tonight he kind of had no choice, because when you've got guys like Donovan Mitchell and even James Harden on you, the space just wasn't there, and he wasn't getting enough clean downhill opportunities. And I know the offensive sets they ran in those late stretches where he was basically acting as a facilitator up top, when he gets it and he sees a matchup like Donovan Mitchell, he needs to kick it out, shift the defense, and then repost right away. When that switch happens, he has to go straight down to the block because he needs to turn, score, and make them pay for that in game 2. Evan Mobley was actually playing solid basketball too. James Harden, though, this is honestly what I've come to expect from him at this point. I already knew he wasn't going to be able to guard Jalen Brunson consistently. Most players in the league can't really handle Brunson one-on-one in those tight spaces. We've seen him score on guys like Aaron Nesmith. We've seen him get buckets on all types of defenders across different matchups. And I don't even think, let me say this clearly, the Spurs have great defenders, and I'm not saying Brunson is a better overall player than SGA, but I don't think those Spurs defenders would have the same success against Brunson that they might have against SGA. Brunson just loves the contact those defenses bring, and he knows exactly how to use it against them. And if Brunson gets to a certain spot on the floor, shooting over a 6'6" defender really isn't a problem for him. He's got some of the best footwork in the entire league, no question. So if they were to ever play that matchup, I think he could actually perform better than most guards against San Antonio, because guys like Castle, Harper, and Fox make everything difficult. But I think Brunson brings a very unique skill set, and we just saw him completely will his team back into that game. Shot after shot, big shot after big shot. I said they started their run too late, and that avalanche just kept coming non-stop. He simply didn't miss in that stretch. Then he got a little help from Shamet and Mikal Bridges when that corner 3 dropped to make it 93-97. I said, oh man, they're about to steal this game. You know, just looking at it, James Harden, defensively, I honestly don't remember him being a consistent defender since his OKC days when he came off the bench. That was probably the last time I remember Harden giving real defensive impact. I think it was that series against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. He had some solid defensive moments off the bench back then, but he's never really been known for his defensive presence. And I noticed with Brunson, when he started dancing with the ball, Harden was trying to reach instead of staying solid in front of him. So that's how Brunson was able to rise up for that 3, because Harden was guessing the dribble instead of playing him straight up. And like I said, most people just can't check Jalen Brunson one-on-one like that. So there's no real shame in that, but you still have to be able to counterattack offensively. And the Cavaliers couldn't really do that tonight, man. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, peace.